إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. فاتقوا الله عباد الله حق التقوى، واعلموا بأن خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد، فيا أيها الإخوة النبلاء، سددكم الله وقواكم على طاعته. لقد أنزل الله تعالى كتابه على نبيه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم جملة واحدة من اللوح المحفوظ إلى بيت العزة في السماء الدنيا، وكان ذلك في ليلة القدر، كما قال الله تعالى: إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. ويقول سبحانه: إنا أنزلناه في ليلة مباركة. يقول ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما: أنزل القرآن جملة واحدة إلى السماء الدنيا، ثم أنزل بعد ذلك في 20 سنة. شهر رمضان هو شهر القرآن، فقال تعالى: شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. فأكثروا من الإقبال على القرآن في هذا الشهر الطيب المطيب، وحثوا أهليكم رجالا ونساء صغارا وكبارا على تلاوته والإكثار منه، واجعلوا بيوتكم ومراكبكم عامرة به، فإن أجر العمل يضاعف بسبب شرف الزمان الذي عمل فيه. وقد كان نبيكم صلى الله عليه وسلم يقبل على القرآن في هذا الشهر إقبالا خاصا، فكان يتدارسه مع جبريل عليه السلام كل ليلة، إذ قال عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله عنهما: كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود الناس، وكان أجود ما يكون في رمضان حين يلقاه جبريل، وكان يلقاه في كل ليلة من رمضان فيدارسه القرآن. فلرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود بالخيل من الريح المرسلة، فإن كتاب الله فيه نبأ ما قبلكم، وخبر ما بعدكم، وحكم ما بينكم، وهو الفصل ليس بالهزل. من تركه من جبار قسمه الله، ومن ابتغى الهدى في غيره أضله الله. وهو حبل الله المتين، وهو الذكر الحكيم، وهو الصراط المستقيم. هو الذي لا تزيغ به الأهواء، ولا تلتبس به الألسنة، ولا يشبع منه العلماء، ولا يخلق على كثرة الرد، ولا تنقضي عجائبه. هو الذي لم تنته الجن إذ سمعته، حتى قال: إنا سمعنا قرآنا عجبا يهدي إلى الرشد. من قال به صدق، ومن عمل به أجر، ومن حكم به عدل، ومن دعا إليه هدي إلى صراط مستقيم. أنزله الله ليكون هداية للناس من الظلمات إلى النور. قال تعالى: ألف لام را، كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. أنزله الله ليكون فرقانا بين الحق والباطل. قال تعالى: تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. أنزله الله ليعرف الناس الحلال من الحرام. قال تعالى: ونزلنا عليك الكتاب تبيانا لكل شيء، وهدى ورحمة وبشرى للمسلمين. فهو بيان لكل ما يحتاج إليه الناس من أمر الشريعة. أنزله الله ليعمل الناس بما فيه. قال تعالى وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك فاتبعوه واتقوا لعلكم ترحمون. فهذا القرآن يهدي للطريق المستقيم. قال تعالى إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي هي أقوم ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا كبيرا. All praises are due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His help, and we seek His forgiveness, and we seek His pardon and His guidance. We seek refuge with Allah from the evils within ourselves and from our bad deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can misguide, and whomsoever Allah misguides, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah alone, and I bear witness that Muhammad is His servant and His messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, if we look at everything, we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is always choosing. Allah, He is always choosing. He's always selecting. Allah, He chooses who to be a Muslim. Allah chooses who is going to be a human, who is going to be an animal, and who is going to be a jinn. Did we fill out an application, oh Allah, I want to be a human and not a jinn or not an animal? None of us filled out an application. Likewise, Allah, He chooses the months and the days of the weeks to be the best. He chooses the months, and from the months, He chooses which month is the best month. From the weeks, He chooses which day is the best day. And from the nights, He chooses which night is the best night. Some of the scholars, they mentioned that the months of the year are 12. Just like the sons of Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, he had 12 sons. The superiority of the month of Ramadan is like the superiority of Yusuf over his brothers. Just as Yusuf was the most beloved of the sons of Prophet Yaqub, Ramadan is the most beloved month to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why Allah, He chose the month of Ramadan in order to have the best of the books He has ever revealed to be revealed not only in the best of months but also in the best of nights. Allah, He says, إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يَهْدِي لِلَّتِي هِيَ أَقْوَمُ وَيُبَشِّرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَبِيرًا. Allah, He chooses what speech is the best. And the best speech He took was His own speech. And He says in the Quran, indeed this Quran guides to that which is the most suitable and gives good tidings to the believers who do righteous deeds, and they will have a great reward with Allah. What is this Quran that we keep on hearing about? Quran is the strong rope of Allah that we all must hold on to and never let it go, as if you are hanging from something, and if you were to let go of that rope, you are going to fall to your doom. The Quran is that rope from Allah which He has given to every single one of us, that we hold on to it as if our life depends on it. The Quran is that straight path that we must follow, and it teaches us what is that straight path. The Quran is such a thing, no evil thought can ever corrupt it, and no wicked tongue can ever distort it or ever come up with something similar to it. And how much you study of this Quran, it's never going to wear out. It's never going to cease to inspire you. How many times have you read Surah Yusuf? How many times have we read Surah Al-Kahf? And yet every single time we read it and we hear it and we read the tafsir, we learn something new. But how many times did you read the same news yesterday or a year ago? Once you read the news, you don't want to read it again. If you see it, even on the same day on the news channel, you say, okay, past this, let's get to the next channel, see what else is new. But the Quran, every day we read the same verses in the salah. Every year we listen to the completion of the Quran, and some people every week or every month, and yet they never wear tired of it, and it never ceases to inspire them. The scholars up until now, not one scholar is able to comprehend or fathom its complete depth of the Quran. The Quran, whoever speaks or whoever reads it, whoever utters it, speaks the truth. Whoever acts upon it will be rewarded. Whoever judges according to it will do justice. Whoever preaches to it is calling towards the truth, and whoever turns away from it in arrogance is doomed, and whoever seeks guidance elsewhere is definitely lost. My brothers and sisters, when you love something, when you love your spouse, when you love your child, when we love our parents, we give them so many names, especially to spouses and to our parents. From a young age, we call them one thing, and then after a while, when we become teenagers, we call them another name. And when we become parents, then we call them, even if it is additional adjectives associated with father, like dear father, beloved dad. Yet we give different names to things that we love the most. And likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He wants to show the significance of something, He gives it many names. And so Allah has given the Quran so many names in order to tell us not only of its importance, but the qualities of the Quran. That you can go ahead and get 1, 2, 3 if you read the Quran. For example, the Quran, Allah, He calls it Ar-Ruh. وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ رُوحًا مِّنْ أَمْرِنَا. That we have revealed the Ruh. What is the Ruh? It is inspiration. You read the Quran, you're going to get inspired by it to do good deeds, and you're going to get discouraged from doing evil deeds. It is ar-rahmah. You want mercy? You want Allah to have mercy? Then you read the Quran, and you can get it through the Quran. وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. This Quran, it is a shifa and a rahmah for the believers, i.e. those believers that read the Quran. It is al-maw'idah. It is for us to gain and advise some sort of lesson. Ya ayyuhan nasu qad ja'atkum maw'idatun min rabbikum. O mankind, verily a maw'idah, an advice has come from your Lord. It is al-dhikr. Inna nahnu nazzalna al-dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. وَهَذَا ذِكْرٌ مُبَارَكٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ. This is one way that we can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is a reminder for us, a very beautiful and a blessed reminder that we keep on reading. It is Al-Furqan. It is the criterion. It helps us to distinguish what is halal and what is haram, what is right. We never worship Allah based upon doubt. We worship Allah based upon certainty, not on shak. What is halal? It is clear. إن الحلال بين وإن الحرام بين وبينهما أمور مشتبهات لا يعلمهن كثير من الناس. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, verily halal is clear and haram is clear. And so this Quran, تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده, this Quran tells us what is halal, what is haram, so that way we don't fall into that which Allah has forbidden. This Quran is a noble Quran. It is Al-Kareem. You want to have nobility? Read the Quran. You want to become a noble person? How much of the Quran do you have in your heart? How much of the Quran you have in your heart? This is the degree of your nobility. إِنَّهُ لَقُرْآنٌ كَرِيمٌ. Also, this Quran is magnificent. It is Al-Azim. It is magnificent. You want to read it, you will become magnificent in the eyes of the people. And that's why you will see people who don't have or who don't come from well-known tribes, or they're not very rich, they have a very simple life, yet they are the memorizers of the Quran. You will see how they are noble and magnificent in the eyes of the people, and even in the eyes in front of the angels. Allah, He says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِّنَ الْمَثَانِي وَالْقُرْآنَ الْعَظِيمِ. This Quran is the truth. And my young brothers and sisters, don't ever doubt, don't ever have doubt in your heart that this Quran, maybe it is not true, maybe it is outdated. Allah, He tells us, وَإِنَّهُ لَحَقُّ الْيَقِينِ. This Quran, wallahi, it is more true than me and you sitting right here. Do you have any doubt that we are sitting here right now? Maybe someone will say, I am dreaming. Sometimes I dream about your khutbah. And so maybe there's a 0.1% chance. But wallahi, this Quran, it is the truth, 110%. And that 10% is given from me. 100% from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنَّهُ لَحَقُّ الْيَقِينِ. And this Quran is a ni'mah. It's a bounty. You want to have the bounties of Allah? وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. This Quran is al-fasl. It judges between what is right, what is wrong, what is just, what is fair, what is injustice, what is unfair. إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ. This Quran is al-hikmah, full of wisdom. You read it, you act upon it, you're going to be the most wise person. People who are foolish is because they don't act upon the Quran even if they know the Quran. You act upon the Quran, you are acting upon the wisest book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent. وَكَذَلِكَ أَنزَلْنَاهُ حُكْمًا عَرَبِيًّا يَاسِينَ وَالْقُرْآنِ الْحَكِيمِ. Allah has taken an oath by the Quran that is full of wisdom. This Quran is al-basair. It is full of insight and is enlightenment to your heart. You're going through some grief, through some hard situation in your life. Read the Quran and see how it will enlighten you and see how it will give you the answers to the troubles that you are facing. هَذَا بَصَائِرُ مِن رَبِّكُمْ. It is a nur. No wonder we see the huffaz and the qurra, those, especially those young kids who are studying the Quran 8, 12, 16 hours a day. You see them, wallahi, it is as if there is nur that is just emanating from their faces. Why? Because this Quran, when you read it, when you talk about it, your talk is full of nur. Your face full of nur. Your action is light, both physically as well as metaphorically. Allah, He says, وَاتَّبَعُوا النُّورَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ مَعَهُ قَدْ جَاءَكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ. Verily from your Lord has come a light, a book full of light. And also, وَاتَّبَعُوا النُّورَ الَّذِي, and follow that nur, that light, metaphorically, follow that light which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down. It is al-burhan, convincing proof. You want to convince someone about the religion? You want to convince someone about Allah? There is no need to go to any other sources before you go to the source, the primary source, which is the source of guidance for all other sources, and that is the Quran. Allah, He says, قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بُرْهَانٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. It is Mubarak. You want to be blessed in your life, in your wealth, even in your majlis? وَهَذَا ذِكْرٌ مُبَارَكٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ. This is a blessed revelation that Allah has sent down. It is a shifa. You want to have anything you're going through, before going to the doctor, go ahead, read the Quran, do ruqya on yourself, read Surah Fatiha, read Ayatul Kursi, take the medicine, read it, go to the doctor, start with this Quran and you will see what kind of shifa it has in it. Is hidayah. You want to get guidance? You want guidance for your family? Read this Quran. Preach this Quran. Inna hadha al-Quran yahdi lillati hiya aqwam. Verily, this Quran was sent down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide the people and mankind. Now, my brothers and sisters, I have this, after saying all of this, my question is, how much of the Quran is contained within your heart? And how much do we practice upon it? We all remember where we were last year. We all know how much Quran we memorized. We had memorized last year. From last year, 365 days have passed, plus or minus. How much have we increased in our memorization of the Quran? Wallahi, if it is not at least one verse or 10 verses, that 1 year, when it comes to all of these qualities of the Quran, was a waste. Because if I ask you the same question, when it comes to, you remember, you can easily go to your online banking and see how much bank balance you had in April 2022. And if it was maintained at the same level, or if it decreased, you're gonna be like what? Scratching your head. You're gonna be talking with your spouse and saying, we gotta cut down. We gotta make proper planning. You wanna buy a house? You want a car? We gotta start saving from now. This is how we talk. You want barakah in your life? You want nur? You want maw'idah? You want hidayah? You want all of these things? You better start reciting the Quran and teaching it to your kids. How unfortunate it is that in so many communities, but forget about so many communities, in our own community, you have brothers and sisters who don't even know how to read the Quran. And it is their mother's tongue. They don't even know how to read the Quran. How unfortunate that is. My brothers and sisters, just a quick action item, so that way we are not overwhelmed. Where do I start with? Where do I start from? How do I start? Let me just give you a bit of a background. In 2008 Olympics, in the swimming competition, the first place winner, he got a gold medal, right? And the second place gets what? Silver. Now we know the difference between gold and silver, right? Huge. It's thousands of percent in value difference. Silver, $20, gold, almost $2,000. Michael Phelps, he won by 0.01 seconds. He got gold. How much? It's 100th of a second. In the 2022 Beijing Olympics, a Swiss ski racer, he won by 0.1 second, meaning a 10th of a second, and he got a gold medal. Okay? Just, what did he do? Extra 0.1 second effort he gave. Just 0.1. Not Michael Phelps, 0.01. It is 0.01 is faster than you blinking an eye, but that's how much effort he gave in order for him to win gold versus silver. In the Kentucky Derby, in the horse race, the first place horse won by a nose win, and he got $1 million. And the second place got $75,000. So you see the difference. What can you do with $1 million? What can you do with $75,000? My brothers and sisters, if you wake up every day 1 hour, what happens? In 1 week, you have 1 extra day to work. So you can get 1 day worth of work done if you wake up 1 hour a day. And they say that 15 minutes reading with your primary school child, if you were to read for 15 minutes a day, when they go to secondary high school, they can read any book. So small amount. I'm just talking about 1 hour, 15 minutes, not dedicate 10 years, 2 years, none of that. My brothers and sisters, if you come to the masjid 5 minutes before everyone else and you read 5 pages before the salah, just 5 pages, and you do that 5 times a day, you will finish 1, or 4 pages, you will finish 1 juz. Because there's 20 pages. And if you read for 5 minutes, 4 pages, before or after every salah, you will finish the complete Quran. Small effort you are putting in, and yet the result is massive. 1 complete Quran a day, a month. My brothers and sisters, if you start with 1 ayah a day, forget about a day, 1 ayah a week, you would have memorized so many surahs the next Ramadan when we're having this khutbah. If you do 1 ayah every single week and you are consistent, 52 ayahs you will have memorized by the end of Ramadan, by the end of the year. And if you die with the intention of memorizing the Quran by 1 verse every day or week, and you act upon it, wallahi, if you die, Allah, He will raise you amongst the memorizers of the Quran, because your intention was to become the memorizer of the Quran. And so the scholars, they said, you will be raised amongst those people. Imagine you get up on the day of judgment, Allah resurrects you, and you are next to Abu Darda, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Uthman radiallahu anh, Abu Huraira, all of these people who had memorized the Quran. And even though you did not finish it, but because you had that sincere intention and you were actively pursuing that intention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow you to be resurrected and be from amongst Ahlul Quran wa Ahlullahi khasatuhu. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. My brothers, if we could all please come forward. There's a lot of space right here. Please come forward. Just come forward. All of you, please. All of you, please come forward. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. أما بعد، فاعلموا عباد الله أن الله أمركم بأمر عظيم، أمركم بأمر بدأ بنفسه فقال تعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم: من صلى علي صلاة صلى الله عليه بها 10. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي، وارض اللهم عن الصحابة أجمعين وعن التابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداءك أعداء الدين. اللهم انصر من نصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم انصر إخواننا المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم كن لهم ناصرا ومعينا وحافظا ومؤيدا. اللهم آمن روعاتهم واستر عوراتهم واحقن دماءهم. اللهم وعليك بأعداء الدين فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم إنا نجعلك في نحورهم ونعوذ بك من شرورهم. اللهم من أرادنا أو أراد أمننا أو أمن إخواننا المسلمين في كل مكان بسوء فأشغله في نفسه واجعل كيده في نحره واجعل تدبيره تدميره يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أعنا ولا تعن علينا، وانصرنا ولا تنصر علينا، وامكر لنا ولا تمكر علينا، واهدنا ويسر الهدى لنا، وانصرنا على من بغى علينا. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها، زكها أنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تجعل القرآن ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا. ربنا إنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. وأقم الصلاة وسووا صفوفكم. My brothers, let's go ahead and try to squeeze